What Vinicius did against Villarreal caught the attention of everyone, including his teammates, and especially Jude Bellingham, who had nothing but praise for the Brazilian. So, if you want to know what he said about Vinicius Jr. after the La Liga show, before showing you everything, I ask you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive our videos every day. But before continuing, please leave your like and subscribe to the channel to help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Don't forget to activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. First, let's take on the challenge of reaching the goal of 500 likes for this video. Now that you have subscribed, let's get to the news. Vinicius Jr. undoubtedly played his best match of the season and destroyed Villarreal's defense, and that was exactly what the fans wanted to see. That Vini, who was decisive for Real Madrid last season and practically carried the team to the Champions League title. The Brazilian made many people feel sorry for Villarreal's defender and simply humiliated him, making him fall to the ground twice. Simply incredible. Besides, he scored an amazing goal with a spectacular shot that left everyone amazed. This game showed why Vinicius Jr. has established himself as the most decisive player of today. And anyone who questions that probably hasn't watched the last seasons or doesn't watch football. But that's a topic for another video. Let's now see what Bellingham and others said about Vini after the Brazilian's performance. Valverde, who also left his mark in the game, did not hold back in praising Vini. It's incredible to play alongside Vinicius. He's a complete player, I see no flaws in him. Playing with Vini is easy. He always finds a gap in the opponent's defense and breaks the lines easily. No one expected that goal of his, it was simply incredible, worthy of the best in the world. For his part, Bellingham was direct. This game is what you expect from the next Ballon d'Or winner. Vini showed why he's considered the best in the world. He's always ready to decide a match on his own, and that's what makes the difference. Vini never gives up, he stays strong even against defenders. That shot, he practices it every day. I wasn't surprised to see him score it, he's worked hard for it, and it was just a matter of time until he succeeded. And of course, Bellingham added, Vini was simply spectacular today. When he plays like this, I can say calmly, he's the best in the world. He has that ability to take responsibility and knows how to handle it. The pressure from the fans doesn't affect him. As we have seen, his teammates and coach have complete confidence in Vini. And someone who also recently spoke about Vini and the Ballon d'Or was Toni Kroos. Do I think I can be among the top for this Ballon d'Or? It's possible, because I had a great season with Madrid. But honestly, I don't think about it for a second. I think Vinicius will win this year, and it would be totally fair. At the club, his season was practically perfect, and from what I see, the chances are very high. I'd be very happy if that happens. He's a humble guy, and despite being so young, he has enormous maturity. In Spain, it's common for people to say that he's provocative and controversial on the field. But those who work with him every day, for years, know his character and humility. I think this award will not only recognize the 2024 season but also what he's done in previous years. Maybe he wasn't number one before, but they placed him much lower than he deserved. It would be great if he won now because it would be the result of everything we see him do day after day, year after year. I'm supporting him, and I'll be very happy if it really happens. Also, in an interview with Marca, his national teammate Neymar talked about Vini and the Ballon d'Or, saying the following in the interview: "It's clear that I'll support Vini to win the Ballon d'Or this year. For me, there's no better candidate. He's a guy who deserves it because he's a fighter. He's been through a lot in his life, but he's overcome all expectations and criticism. He's become an idol for us." Another significant opinion on Vini winning the Ballon d'Or is that of Carlo Ancelotti. The coach gave a recent interview where he made it clear whether Vinicius deserves to win the Ballon d'Or or not. Pay attention to his words, I think yes. Vini Jr. can be the best in the world. He deserves to win for what he did last season, especially in the UEFA Champions League, scoring goals in the semi-final and the final. I think he'll win, But if he doesn't, it doesn't matter, we'll keep moving forward, the coach concluded. And this summarizes very well what Vini's rivals think when facing the Brazilian star. It's not easy to deal with such a skillful player, and the pressure on his opponents is intense. Look at the words of a player right after facing Vinicius Jr. They have to think fast. They can't make mistakes, as they are the last man on the field. So, while they tried to play out, I stayed on the edge waiting for a space behind him for Musiala and Leroy. In this fragment, you can see how Vini imposes a fast pace on his opponents, forcing them to make instant and precise decisions. This kind of pressure is what differentiates ordinary players from extraordinary talents like him. And, of course, it's important to highlight that this style of play is essential not only for Real Madrid but for any team that has his skills. We're not like Vinicius, who takes the ball in defense, dribbles past 10 players, and scores a goal. We have to make the players from the other team move badly, and when they move badly, we need to be there. This statement is an admission of how Vinicius' style of play is unique. He has the ability to make plays that few in world football can. The player who commented on this recognizes that, for most, it's necessary to play more tactically, exploiting the opponent's mistakes. However, Vinicius Jr. challenges this norm with his ability to dribble, his speed, and his game vision. He's a player who can, on his own, destroy an opponent's defense, something that requires a lot of courage and self-confidence. Vinicius' talent is evident, but the game is not only about individual skill. His rivals must always be on alert because, in a moment of carelessness, he has already passed through 3, 4, or 5 players. And when he reaches the last man, as the player mentioned, any mistake is fatal. His movement off the ball is also something few can follow. He's not just a sprinter but someone with an impressive reading of the game. Moreover, his ability to stay calm in crucial moments is a differentiator that places him among the best in the world. And speaking of that, the connection he has with his teammates, like Musiala and Leroy, makes those fast and unpredictable plays even easier. But unfortunately, at the end of this spectacular game from Vini, the Brazilian left the field with pain in his shoulder. For an athlete of his importance, any injury is a cause for great concern. Physical wear, especially in players who depend so much on explosiveness and speed like him, is something that can affect long-term performance. And, to the sadness of those who enjoy watching Vinicius play, the tests conducted on Sunday morning confirmed that Vinicius Jr. will not play for the Brazilian national team in the matches against Chile and Peru. His absence in these matches is a significant loss for the national team, especially considering the impact he could have had in these encounters. After all, Vinicius Jr. was diagnosed with a cervical injury. This type of injury is particularly delicate, as it involves an essential area of the body for the mobility and balance of a player. The cervical region is responsible for much of the movements of the trunk and head, and any limitation in this area can drastically affect performance on the field. The Brazilian underwent imaging tests after leaving the field in the match against Villarreal on Saturday, with his shoulder immobilized. For fans and followers of Vinicius, it was a concerning moment. According to the Real Madrid club statement, the player will be closely monitored by the club's doctors. Much care must be taken to ensure that he can return to the field without risks. Well, many people out there say that whether Vini is called up or not doesn't change anything for the Brazilian national team because he always plays very poorly for Brazil. This is an opinion that, unfortunately, some fans and analysts have, based on Vinicius' past performances with the national team. It's true that in some games, he hasn't managed to reproduce the same level of performance he has at Real Madrid. This can be explained by various factors, such as the difference in playing style between clubs and national teams, the pressure of representing the country, and of course, the limited preparation time that players have with the national team compared to their clubs. However, it would be unfair to ignore the potential and importance he can have for the national team. But now I want to know your opinion. do you also think that Vinicius Jr. won't be missed in the Brazilian national team? This question is crucial because it raises an important discussion about Vini's role in the team. Many may argue that the national team has other great players who can replace him, but the truth is that Vinicius' unique talent isn't something that can be easily found. He brings something different, something unpredictable that can be decisive in important games. Although he hasn't consistently shown in Brazil's jersey so far, his potential is undeniable. And in a scenario where modern football demands players capable of changing the course of a match with an individual play, Vinicius is that kind of athlete. Leave me your opinion, I really want to know what you think. Opinions about Vinicius Jr.'s relevance in the national team are diverse, and it's always interesting to hear different points of view. Do you think he's indispensable for Brazil's success, or do you think the team can find other solutions in his absence? The Brazilian national team has a tradition of incredible talents, and it's natural that there are always options of the same caliber. However, football is also about moments, confidence, and opportunities, and maybe Vinicius is still in the process of finding his ideal rhythm with the yellow jersey. Leave your opinion in the comments, as it always generates enriching debates. If you've made it this far, leave your comment saying what you thought of the news, and don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel. That's all, friends. Thank you, and until next time. The expectation is that, over time, Vinicius will recover and come back even stronger. As fans, all we want is to see him shine both for Real Madrid and for the Brazilian national team, providing magical moments with his unmatched skill. Football needs players like him, who remind us why we love this sport so much. May Vini recover soon and go back to doing what he does best, enchanting fans with his talent,